We spent years rewarding kids for having opinions, and now we're punishing adults for doing the same thing. Let me explain, because this one's a crazy epiphany that I've had. So when we were younger, we celebrated kids for having opinions, for having great communication skills, for acing history, for signing up for debates. If they joined a debate club or a model UN, it's chef's kiss. And we used to put that stuff on our college applications like it was a badge of honor. Fast forward to 2026, and the same kids who did all of that are now being incentivized for not having any opinions, period. We have most millennials and arguably all of Gen Z who have zero clue about what's shaping their reality, what policies they could influence, what decisions are being made about them without them. Because somewhere along the line, having a political opinion went from being a skill worth celebrating to a liability that needs to be hidden. And that's something that no one seems to care about. And let me tell you, this wasn't always the norm though. Not having any opinions at all, not indulging in any discussions that reflected some kind of personality other than being a sociopath in a cubicle, this was not always the norm. If you're from US and Canada, your parents went to work and they spoke their minds. Restraint and censorship was not something they worried about. Now I looked it up, I'm reading off my notes here. 2016, US political polarization hit a breaking point where corporations quietly started writing the first internal political speech policies. Google banned political discussions on internal email, and that was 2016. 2019, those quiet policies, they went corporate-wide. Banking and financial companies, they formalized all these neutrality changes that occurred. September 2020, Coinbase CEO publicly announces that employees cannot take political stances at work, and a lot of their employees walked out. April 2021, Basecamp bans all political and social discussion. As a result, a third of their entire staff resigns within 2 weeks. And by 2022, social media monitoring became a standard. What you posted on your personal accounts on your own time is now grounds for termination. 6 years. In 6 years, your entire personality, your opinions, your identity, your thought process that you curated since when you were 5 years old was stripped away from you, and no one's talking about it. Now, I know there's a lot of LinkedIn fans who post LinkedIn updates on a weekly basis. They're going to think, oh, not having an opinion at a workplace increases productivity, right? Wrong. Look up Basecamp. Basecamp proved it. Coinbase proved it. A third of their employees walked out because their individuality was suppressed. Now, I don't know if it's because AI is training kids to be dependent and dumb, but I don't know why nobody's questioning these policies. I just want to put this out there that political neutrality in a workplace is not professional. It's cowardly and complicit. You lack personality. You want to run a successful company? Those kids that be rewarded for having verbal prowess and communication skills and a personality, those are the same troublemakers who can resist mediocrity and they embody steadfastness. Those are the people you need in the boardroom, not a bunch of frenzied, enslaved matcha drinkers. And we would be absolutely naive to think that all of this is a coincidence. I urge you to protect your cognitive sovereignty and sharpen those blades now and then, because some of these leaders are now coming up with policies that we've only seen in a dystopian film. Peace out.